Have you ever wanted to try something new but didn't want to be the first person to try it? Well, I'll go first and tell you how it goes. In this episode of I'll Go First, I'll be covering how to become a drone pilot. First off, for those of you who don't know, then the Federal Aviation Administration issued new rules concerning drones in the United States. Those rules went into effect in August of 2016. Now, whether you're flying for recreational purposes or for commercial or business purposes, then the rules now state that if your drone weighs more than 0.55 pounds or less than 55 pounds within that range, then you have to register the drone with the FAA. Now, if you want to just fly for recreational purposes, then once your drone is registered, then you can fly wherever you want as long as you're not within a 5-mile radius of an airport and you're not getting any compensation for the footage or the photographs or anything like that that you take with your drone. So initially, when I thought I would get my own drone, I thought I'll just do it underneath the recreational hobby purposes. So there is an application you get on your smartphone from the FAA, which is called Before You Fly. When you launch the Before You Fly app, it tells you, based on your location, if you're within a 5-mile radius of an airport. Now initially I thought, oh, there can't be that many airports. Well, I found out that actually there are a lot of airports in the United States, and a 5-mile range is actually kind of large. Now in the town that I live in, there's a heliport at the local health hospital, which means a helicopter can land at the local hospital, and that's considered an airport. It's a non-controlled tower airport, which means there's no control tower for the airport, but because I'm within that airport, then I can't fly a drone within the city that I'm at. Now, the exception is if I notify the airport or the air traffic control tower, then I can. But every time I fly, then I have to notify them, and that can be kind of a pain. So basically, the more and more I looked at the United States, there are tons of small regional airports and heliports all over that kind of makes flying a drone a little bit restrictive, following those guidelines. Additionally, under the new rules, then you can't fly over 400 feet above the ground. You can't fly over groups of people. You need to make sure to maintain visual eye contact with the drone, and you need to just practice safe practices. Oh, another thing is you can't operate the drone while you're in a moving vehicle. Now, what you can do underneath their new rules is you can become a drone pilot, and the main thing is you passed a knowledge test. Once you pass their knowledge test and you're a certified drone pilot, then you can fly within the radius of airports that don't have a control tower. Now, from what I read online, over 80% to 85% of all the airports in the United States have no control tower. And so with that license, the remote pilot license, then you can fly wherever you want, pretty much. If you're in the 5-mile radius of an airport that does have a control tower, then you will need to notify them of your flight and make sure everything is okay with them. Additionally, if you become a drone pilot and you get your license and your certification, then you can sell your footage or your photographs that you take while flying your drone, and there's no issue there. Additionally, as a remote pilot certification, you can apply for a waiver from the FAA to be able to fly over crowds of people, to be able to operate your drone from a moving vehicle, and a couple other restrictions that they have. You can apply for a waiver. They usually want about 90 days in advance notice, and that waiver can be approved, and you can operate the drone with that waiver. So I decided to go ahead and take the test to become a drone pilot. I haven't taken the test yet, but I've been studying for it. So if you go to FAA.gov, then they've got a lot of good information about how to become a drone pilot, or more technically, a remote pilot. What I did is I downloaded their guide and printed it out, and here you can see it here is the remote pilot for small unmanned aircraft systems, so that's usually what they'll call it, is UAS. And I read through this guide. It's about 75 pages. It was a good guide. And I also downloaded an application which is called Remote Pilot. And the application, it looks like this one here. And if I launch it, then you'll see that it's got study questions that you can take and even a simulated FAA exam. This application has been really good. This app is $20 on the App Store, and it's helped me a lot. One thing that I realized in using this app and training for studying for the test is that they go over sectional maps or sectional charts, which didn't really get covered that well in depth in this guide. So I watched several YouTube videos about how to read sectional charts and sectional maps, and fly8mikealpha.com is the one that I found really helpful in giving you some general knowledge about reading sectional maps. So between reading the study guide, fly8mikealpha.com, and several YouTube videos, then I learned kind of what I needed. Also, this app on my phone, it gives you explanations for when you get questions wrong, and the explanations are very detailed and do a great job. The app on there has been really great. So the test has to be taken at a certified FAA testing center, and if you go to FAA.gov, then they've got a list of all the testing centers. I found one in my area, and I'm going to take it today, actually in a few hours from now. So the test is 60 questions long with a 2-hour time limit. So you got about 2 minutes per question on average, and you have to basically be 14 years of age and have a photo ID. And here you can see are the topics that will be covered on the test with the percentages on there. So that's what we'll be tested on. This here that I'm showing you is also printed out on FAA.gov. So there's quite a few documents on there, but on FAA.gov that you can cover. But that's what I'm going to be taking today. So the new section is called Part 107. So it's in the Title 14 Code of Federal Regulations, which is the FAA basically, and Part 107 of Title 14 Code of Federal Regulations is on unmanned aircraft systems. The fee for taking the test is $150. If I pass the test, which is getting a 70% score or higher, then I'm good for 2 years and I'm now a certified remote pilot. I've got to file my paperwork online and things once I pass the test, but then I'm good. And I have to recertify with passing that test every 2 years, every 24 months. If I fail the test, meaning I score below a 70%, then I have to wait 14 calendar days, and then I can retake the test, paying an additional $150 fee for the test, and then I'm good to go. So, I've read the manual, I've read the study guide, I've been taking test simulations on my app, and I've been studying, and today is the big day for the test. So, I'll check back with you as we get to the test taking time. Okay, I'm here at the testing center, and my appointment's in just a few minutes. I'm excited to see if I can pass. One thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to say was that I spent a couple hours reading the study guide manual, about the 75 pages, and I've taken about a couple hundred test questions in my app, and then I've taken the simulated test 3 times in the app and got around 85% average on that. So now we're going to see if I actually pass the real deal, and hopefully what I've been studying and all that has been what I needed to. Alrighty, wish me luck. I just finished my test, and I'm happy to announce that I passed with an 87%. So super excited about that, and I just need to get my drone in the mail. The one thing that I would say about the test is that it has pictures of sectional maps on the screen, but the picture resolution was super poor, and I spent a lot of time trying to look at the screen and figuring out what the letters and the numbers were on the screen, because the picture resolution was so bad it was really blurry. And I marked those questions to come back to them later, and it wasn't until I got to the last part of the test that I realized that I was given a book that has all those charts printed out, and it's a lot clearer. And so when I finally made that connection, then I was able to open up the book, find all the correct figures, which are all the different maps and stuff like that, and I could read the numbers and everything just fine. So if you're going to do this, then that one thing I would say is if you're looking at the maps, then there should give you a book, and the book has the maps printed out way more clearly than what's showing on the computer screen. So otherwise, then the app that I got on my phone for studying for the exam, then a lot of the questions were exactly like were on the app. So I give that app a 2 thumbs up. Did a great job preparing me for the test, and now I am Part 107 certified, and I've got my drone license. So thanks for watching, If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. And also leave a comment down below on what you'd like me to try first for you. Alright, thanks.